Hey guys, this video is a showcase of a new mod called Brawler Beggar that adds a new beggar type to the game that I think is quite interesting and worth making a video for. This new beggar type has a chance to replace any other beggar type from the base game that naturally spawns in a room, but only up to once per floor. This chance is set to 16% by default, but you can change it with the mod config menu mod if you want. Now allow me to explain what the Brawler Beggar actually does. As you can see on his sign, he wants 3 cents for every single play. Doing so will cause him to punch you in the face. Sounds bad, right? Well, not if we take into account that this is just a sparring match. Getting punched by the Brawler Beggar will only simulate your character getting hurt, but without actually losing any health. This is basically the same effect as the Dull Razor active item, which allows you to trigger the on-hit effects of your own items like Piggy Bank, Gimpy or Fanny Pack, which are just 3 of many examples in the game for items that have such an effect. You can even use this to utilize those items on the 2 lost characters, which would usually just die as soon as they take any damage. The punch will also give you invincibility frames, just like a normal hit, which could be used to enter or leave the curse room if the beggar is inside or next to it. However, keep in mind that it isn't possible to play the likes of blood donation machines or devil beggars like this. But this guaranteed punch effect is not the only possible payout of the Brawler Beggar. There are 5 more possible rewards that are chance-based, and it can even trigger multiple of them at the same time if you are lucky. Allow me to break them down for you. First, there is a 25% chance for your character to literally lose his shit when he gets hit by the punch. This spawns a poop obstacle below your feet, just as if you would have used the poop active item. You can destroy the poop for a chance to get some pickups, and it also works with the usual poop synergies like Midas Touch and Hallowed Ground to create special poop types. Next up, there's also a 20% chance for your character to gulp the currently held trinket, making it permanent. This is the same effect as that of the marbles item, but with double the chance to trigger. And the 2 effects would of course stack if you happen to have the marbles item while you play the beggar. So if you find a Brawler Beggar on the current floor, consider trying to gulp all the interesting trinkets on the floor before going to the next one. The third possible extra payout is probably the most interesting one. There's a 15% chance each time you get punched by the Brawler Beggar to drop one of your items on the ground. This could either be your active item or any passive item at random. This allows you to either get rid of unwanted items or to use rerolls to transform them into something better retroactively. But even if you don't have anything to reroll them, a lot of the items in the game will actually benefit you if you pick them up again. For example, dropping a health up item on the ground will not remove the heart container you got from it, but you will get a new one when you pick the item back up. The same is also true for items that give you any form of pickup, both those that drop them on the ground as well as those that add them directly to your inventory. However, it is important to note that the dropped items are not counting as new items for your transformations, so you can't cheese them with the Brawler Beggar. We already covered the gulp payout of the Brawler Beggar, but there's also a verb payout as well. Each time the beggar hits you, there's a 10% chance to use the verb effect, which causes your character to spit out a pill. If you already used a pill in the run, then the beggar will make you spit out a copy of the last one you used. If you haven't used any pills before, or if you triggered the verb effect of the beggar twice before taking a pill in between, then the generated pill will be a random one instead. You can obviously use this to try to eat multiple copies of the same pill if you got one that benefits your run. And last but not least, there's also a 5% chance for the Brawler Beggar to spawn an item from his own themed item pool before disappearing, just like any other beggar type in the base game. His item pool contains a total of 25 possible items, which fittingly revolve around blood, drugs and fighting. A lot of the items also have on-hit effects, which fits the theme of the beggar and can make the next one you encounter in your run even more valuable. Like I said earlier in the showcase, the guaranteed punch as well as the 5 possible bonus payouts are not exclusive to each other. Each possible payout has its own chance to trigger independently, and multiple can trigger at the same time. I just manipulated the trigger chances to make the showcase of each individual effect more clear. And by the way, in case you are wondering, bombing the Brawler Beggar will just drop a few pickups without giving you any devil or angel deal chance. Anyway, That was all there is to say about this interesting little beggar mod. What do you think about it? Will you give it a chance for some sparring in your runs? I really hope you enjoyed this little showcase. If you did, then please consider subscribing to my channel. There will be more videos like this, as well as non-modded content in the future. Either way, that was it for today, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye!
He's the number one,
Isaac!
God's favorite son. His flowing robes reach down from